Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Congressman Rogers. It's an honor to be in your presence. Thank you for the proclamation. Ambassador, thank you for being here tonight. President Caputo, honored guest, and ladies and gentlemen. I feel a little like the old comedian used to be on the Grand Ole Opry, Archie Campbell, who started Hee Haw. He once said, if you are a major star on the Grand Ole Opry, you get 15 minutes of program. If you were just a mediocre star, they let you sing 3 songs. If you were just starting out, they give you 1. And with that, he said, thank you very much and good night. That's the way I feel. Congressman, you brought up age. I was totaling it up back there. My age is 1 year older than all the other 5 honorees combined. Well, I was 22 years old, and Coach Rupp had it right. He came up and he sat down next to me watching practice one day, and he said, your time will come. That's all he said. I don't think neither he or I thought it would take this long. But I thank him. Coach Rupp was a great mentor to me all the way along. It's been a wonderful ride. Everybody says 34 years. It actually was 36 years. There were more basketball championships I broadcast than given credit for, but all I did was broadcast them. I didn't play in them. For over 20 years, actually over 30 years, I had the best seat in the House. For 20 years, I sat next to one of the great play-by-play men that ever lived, in Cawood Ledford. There were nights I would sit next to Cawood, and Coach Calipari, I would just close my eyes. And I would just sit there, even though I had a headset and a microphone on, and I would listen to Cawood Ledford describe the game. And I could not believe the beauty with which he did it. You know, he was not a legend when I began working with him. He became one afterwards, and I always told him he got that in spite of me, not with my help. He was my partner, he was my friend, he was my teacher. But I had another teacher. I was more blessed than any young play-by-play guy that ever lived, because the other great play-by-play man for the University of Kentucky was Claude Sullivan. And Claude Sullivan took me under his wing when I was about 22 and helped me out a great deal. And for that, I will always be thankful. You know, one of the many things that came from those 2 guys, I took over into my business life, and that was preparation. Preparation. And knowing where I stood, knowing what my job was, and trying to complete my job. There are many things that you take for granted now, IMG, that was you're doing. But nearly every one of those Jim Host and Ralph Gabbard and I put together. We did not put on the pregame and postgame coaches show. That was done by Bear Bryant and Claude Sullivan back when Bear Bryant was here. But the call-in shows, the television shows, Coach, that you do, nearly everything, until John Calipari came along and started a podcast, started out under the 3 of us back then. I say, it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. I want to thank those people who are here tonight, because this award doesn't belong to me. I wasn't an athlete. All I did was cover athletes. So I need to share this with all of the athletes which I cover. I want to thank the coaches who got me started, like Glenn Presnell and Roy Kidd over at Eastern Kentucky University. They'll unveil a statue of Roy tomorrow. Charlie Bradshaw, John Ray, Fran Kersey. You could go on and on and on. Bill Curry. I worked up until Hal Mummy got here. They all meant a great, great deal to me. I've already mentioned Coach Rupp, but but I worked closely with Coach Joby Hall, with Eddie Sutton, with Rick Pitino, and with Tubby Smith. Many of those people, not only did I work with, they became very, very close personal friends. This job allowed me to meet presidents, to meet people like Congressman Rogers and other congressmen, to meet Kelly, to meet all of these people, to meet authors, to meet people who were famous, but they were no more famous than the basketball players at the University of Kentucky inside the state. It allowed me to travel all over the country. It allowed me to go in great many parts of the world. But the thing it really allowed me to do was to go to 120 counties and nearly every town in this state, Mr. President, and preach the University of Kentucky gospel, to go out there and talk to these people. And the thing I found out about it was, the further you are away from Lexington, Kentucky, the more rabid the fans are. They know everything there is to know about the University of Kentucky. They can tell you exactly who John Calipari should be starting next year, who Coach Stoops should be starting tomorrow in the football game, and what he should be doing. Joe Hall once said that Kentucky was a land of 3.5 million assistant coaches. And I truly believe that. But I want to thank all the people here tonight that I worked with. And guys, would all of you stand up? Oh, these are the guys I work with. Sam Bowie, Kyle Macy, over here Jim Barnhart, Derek Ramsey, Dick Gabriel. We could fill a room just about with the people with whom I worked. Rob Bromley's not here, but he was on that list just as well. And of course, Tom Leach. Tom Leach, as he said, came to work with me in 1984, and I made him one promise. When I quit, I'll do everything I can to help you get this job. And I try to be the good politician and make sure that you ended up getting that. So many memories, so many games, so many stories, so many nights on the road, so many friends. I shared this award tonight with Bill Keightley, with Bob Wiggins, with Harold Thomas Browning, Talbot Todd, Rick Norton, Rick Kessinger, Doug Coder, Bubba McCullough. I share with Ed Davender. I share with Melvin Turpin and Mike Phillips, Billy Ray Lickert, and the many others who have passed on. I accept this award tonight, not for myself, but for all of these people with whom I have worked over the years, and for my wife, Marilyn, and for my daughter, Heather. And I thank you all for the honor. Thank you very much.